Are you thinking of going on a cruise during hurricane season? Worried the weather might ruin your vacation? Cruising during hurricane season can feel risky. One minute you're enjoying the sun, and the next, a storm could force a port cancellation or make the seas choppy. But here's the good news. You don't have to avoid hurricane season cruises. If you plan carefully, cruising during hurricane season can actually be a great opportunity. Fares are often lower, crowds are smaller, and with the right preparation, you can still have an amazing vacation. In this video, I'm going to share the biggest mistakes people make when cruising during hurricane season, plus what to do instead, so you don't end up regretting your trip. Hurricane season runs for 6 months, from June 1st through November 30th, half the year, so it's hard to completely avoid. To make matters worse, hurricane season peaks in August, right in the middle of the prime summer vacation months when most families are planning their trips. On average, the Atlantic sees about 12 tropical storms each year, 6 of which become hurricanes, and roughly 3 storms impact the U.S. coastline every 2 years. This can affect popular cruises to the Bahamas, Bermuda, Mexico, the Caribbean, and even Canada. It's not just the Atlantic either. The Pacific hurricane season follows the same time frame, with the peak typically midsummer to early fall. The good news is that it's still possible to enjoy cruises during hurricane season. You just need to know the mistakes to avoid. That's exactly what we'll cover in this video. Mistake number 1. Not buying travel insurance. One of the biggest mistakes people make when cruising during hurricane season is skipping travel insurance. Cruise lines rarely cancel trips, even during storms. They usually just reroute the itinerary. That means if you decide to cancel because you're nervous about rough seas, you'll lose your money. The safest option is to get travel insurance with the cancel for any reason coverage. It costs more than your regular travel insurance, usually around 40% extra, but it gives you the flexibility to back out if you feel uncomfortable. Personally, I always buy cancel for any reason insurance during hurricane season. For me, it's all about having the option to cancel if I get nervous about sailing in choppy waters. The last thing I want is to be stuck on a ship when the seas are rough. Yes, it's more expensive, but I consider it part of the cost of cruising during hurricane season. And when you consider the lower cruise fares typically available during hurricane season, the extra cost of cancel for any reason insurance is a small price to pay for the peace of mind it provides. Mistake number 2. Setting your heart on a specific port. A common mistake during hurricane season is getting too attached to a specific port. The reality is that cruise port stops aren't guaranteed. High winds or rough seas can force the ship to cancel or swap ports, or even add an extra day at sea. I learned this the hard way. On one of my cruises, I had been looking forward to spending the day on the cruise line's private island. I had planned everything, relaxing on the beach and going kayaking. But because it was hurricane season, the seas were too rough for the ship to dock. That stop was canceled, and instead, we had an extra day at sea. The first time I experienced a missed port, I was really disappointed, and I was shocked that cruise lines typically aren't required to compensate passengers for missed ports. But over the years, I've realized that missing ports during hurricane season is common, and cruise lines make these changes for everyone's safety. Now, when a port is missed, I don't let it affect my trip as much. Mistake number 3. Not being flexible. One of the biggest mistakes people make when cruising during hurricane season is not being flexible and expecting perfect weather every day. Delays, rainy weather, canceled ports, or rough seas are always a possibility, so it's important to go in with an open mind. If you try to stick rigidly to a plan or expect nothing but sunny beach days, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. For example, every year I go on a Bahamas cruise with my sister's family during summer break. It's the only time we can line up vacations with the kids, which means our trip always falls during hurricane season. It's definitely not ideal, but we've learned to sail with an open mind. Some years the weather is perfect, and we get to enjoy the beaches and excursions we planned. Other years, the weather is really bad, and we get rained out so much that we can't even go to the beach for the entire cruise. On those trips, we spend most of our time indoors, adjusting our plans and finding activities on the ship instead. By staying flexible and having realistic expectations, we can still enjoy the cruise no matter what the weather does. Mistake number 4. Booking the wrong cabin. If you want the smoothest ride possible, choose a cabin midship on a lower deck. The front and back of the ship experience the most movement, so if you're prone to seasickness, those are the last places you want to be. Personally, I never book a guaranteed cabin during hurricane season. It's just too risky. Guaranteed cabins are cheaper, but the trade-off is that you usually get the leftover rooms, which are often in the very front or back of the ship, right where the seas are roughest. For me, being able to pick my cabin is well worth the extra cost. I always make sure my room is midship, where the motion is minimized. It gives me peace of mind and makes the entire cruise much more comfortable. Mistake number 5. Booking shore excursions. A common mistake during hurricane season is pre-booking shore excursions. If you've booked a non-refundable tour with a local independent operator and your port gets canceled or the weather turns bad, you could lose that money. Even if the port remains open, poor weather can make the activity less enjoyable. Imagine trying to go kayaking on a dreary, rainy day. Personally, I never book shore excursions ahead of time when cruising during hurricane season. It's too risky because you never know how the weather will behave. I also avoid booking through independent tour operators, since their cancellation policies are usually stricter and refunds can be difficult to get. Instead, I wait until to see how the weather looks before deciding whether to book an excursion through the cruise line. By booking last minute, I don't risk losing money or being stuck with activities I can't enjoy, and I can make choices based on the weather forecast. Mistake number 6. Buying a drink package. One mistake people often make during hurricane season is buying a cruise beverage package. On rougher seas, alcohol can worsen seasickness, and if you're prone to motion sickness, it may turn what could be a manageable day into an uncomfortable one. Personally, I never buy a drink package during hurricane season because I know I'm prone to seasickness. On choppy waters, alcohol would only make it worse, and I'd be wasting money on a package I can't fully enjoy. That said, if you're a drinker and can handle a little alcohol even with some motion in the seas, go for it. But be warned, seasickness can strike at any time, even for people who normally don't get sick. The safest approach during hurricane season is to buy drinks a la carte. That way, you're not locked into a package you might not be able to use, and you can enjoy your cruise more comfortably. Mistake number 7. Not being ready for seasickness. Even if you've never had a problem with motion sickness before, hurricane season can bring stronger swells and unpredictable seas, making it essential to be prepared. Many people make the mistake of assuming they won't get seasick, but weather and choppy waters can affect anyone. Personally, I never take chances. On sea days, I always take my seasickness medication first thing in the morning, whether I feel sick or not. The reason is simple. It takes time for the medication to work, and by the time you start feeling the effects of seasickness, it's often too late. Once you're in that downward spiral, it can be hard to recover from seasickness. Starting the day with preventive measures in place gives me peace of mind and helps me enjoy the cruise, even if the seas get rough later on. Mistake number 8. Flying in on the day of your cruise. A common mistake is booking a flight that arrives on the same day your cruise departs. Even in the best of conditions, this is risky. Flights can be delayed, canceled, or take longer than expected to get through security. During hurricane season, the odds of delays increase because of unpredictable weather or storm-related disruptions. Missing your ship isn't just stressful. It can also cost you a lot of money and ruin the start of your vacation. Arriving a day early ensures that even if bad weather or delays occur, I won't miss my ship and can start the cruise on a calm, enjoyable note. Mistake number 9. Not researching the forecast. Another common mistake is not paying attention to the weather before your cruise. Hurricane season can bring unpredictable storms, and conditions can change quickly. Before booking, it's important to research the hurricane forecast for the year and choose your itinerary wisely. For example, in a La Niña year, storms tend to hit the Western Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico more heavily, while El Niño years can be calmer. Hurricane season is also not a great time to cruise to Bermuda or Canada. If a storm hits, these northern Atlantic Ocean cruises can get especially choppy, making for uncomfortable days at sea. And the days leading up to your sailing date, it's important to monitor the weather. Small storms can escalate quickly, and cruise lines often provide updates via text alerts if there are any delays or itinerary changes. Make sure you signed up to get these text messages. Staying informed allows you to adjust your plans and avoid surprises. Get your free cruise packing list. Whether you're a first-time cruiser or a seasoned traveler, this one-page checklist makes sure you never forget the essentials. Download my free cruise packing list printable. Link in the description below. Are you on the fence about buying the cruise beverage package? It could be a big waste of money. In my next video, I'll share 9 reasons why it's not worth it, and how you can still enjoy drinks without overspending. I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe for more cruise and vacation videos like this. Thanks for watching.